Okay. Oh, we have 3 bars. Perfect. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us for today's grand ceremony, Tenchi Kanokami Grand Ceremony. This ceremony is held once a year. We have 2 grand ceremonies, one in honor of the founder, Mikami Kodai Jin-sama, and one in honor of our parent god, Tenchi Kanokami. And so today I hope that you will all join us with one heart as we give appreciation to Tenchi Kanokami-sama for today. So I'm going to go back there and I will kind of refocus something, and then we'll begin the ceremony. Jido Haide for sincere class. So, Kane, please bow your heads in prayer. 進みて、ひがみ金光大臣の前に間をさ、あより天地金の神を大祭を振り行わんとす。教祖金光大臣をはじめ、歴代金光様、金光教神戸教会、明治教会、福崎親教会、ポートランド教会、各教会、主代教会長、歴代教会長のおすがり申し、道の御祭を使えん祭らんとす。礼をあげ行わん、礼儀記憶5日に、道に祭る信奉者もろもろ、のも身を正し、心新たにただかしめたまえと、安取り次恋ねぎ祭り、しこみもまおす。ひがみ金光大臣、I seek your Toritsugi for today's service. Today we conduct the spring grand ceremony dedicated to Parent Kane, Tenchi. As someone without virtue, I seek to receive and cling to the virtue of Konko Daiji, the succeeding Konko Samas, as well as the founding, past, and present head ministers of the Konko churches of Kobe, Himeji, and Portland for today's service. Today, the believers and I come together with our hearts, bodies, and minds refreshed, purified, and ready for today's service. Thank you. Now, please raise your heads. Please open your prayer books to page 2 for the purification prayer. Through the way of mediation, may our sincere apologies be acceptable to you, our divine parent. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, arrogance and ignorance of your divine favor. We apologize for all our shortcomings and irreverences from past generations. Guide us to amend our way of living, to reflect your divine will, the pure, joyful, and loving heart. Praise God. Kenten Ritual of Offerings. Please open your prayer book to page 3 for Kami prayer. Reverently we pray. The brilliance of heaven, the richness of earth. Time flows without cease. Years pass without end. In heaven and earth is a life that nurtures all. In heaven and earth is a truth that orders all. For this wondrous form, for these wondrous works, let us praise Tenchi Kane no Kami. Let us praise the divine parent of the universe. Kami loves and cares for all humanity, all those who live between heaven and earth. To revere Kami as divine parent, to live in Kami's infinite blessings, this is the way. Yet many, not knowing the way, are lost in greed and selfishness. They set the cycle of misfortunes. Great is Kami's sorrow. Our founding father, Kongko Daiji, suffered many trials in this world, but held fast to faith and sincerity. Received Kami's great blessing, began the life of mutual fulfillment of Kami and humanity. Humbly we pray. The parents' great wish was thus fulfilled. Kongko Daiji accepted the call to mediation that leads to the mutual benefit of Kami and humanity. By what day he taught the way of faith to all who sought him, expounding the blessings of heaven and earth. And he knew not the coming of night. By night he prayed for those who grieved, seeking salvation for all who suffered. And he knew not the dawning of day. Though years passed and the world changed, he did not waver from his task, the divine task of mediation. Thus was given the sacred Tenchi Kakitsuke, the guiding principle for our daily life. The divine favor was thus renewed, blessings flowed universally, establishing the way of eternal prosperity, the way of mediation of Ikigami Kongko Daiji. By this wondrous revelation, we are given knowledge of the way. Through all the hardships of this world, through pain of body and soul, the way of mediation teaches us to turn our hearts to Kami. Without regard for day or night, whether we are near or far, the way of mediation teaches us to pray with total trust. For living unaware of divine favor, we offer sincere apologies and pledge to mend our ways. Let us live our faith every day, seeking and rejoicing in your divine favor. Let us care for those in pain and invite them to the way. Let us guide those who are lost and awaken them to a life of purpose. Kami is fulfilled in us. We are fulfilled in Kami. May this way of mutual fulfillment be manifested in this world. May Kami wish for true peace and the well-being of all people be fulfilled. So we humbly pray. So we earnestly pray. Please bow your heads in prayer. Emma Kumo Kaiko, Higami Kongko Daiji, Tenchi Kane no Oyagami Sama no Mimae ni, Kongko Kyo Whittier-Hill Hill Kaicho, Yawa Kiyoshi no Kawarite, Shikomi Kashikomi mo Maosaki, Shiko Kareto ga Tenchi Kane no Kami hashi, Amitoku Tenchi ni Amaneku nichi watarase tamai, no mina o ikashi, Rozu no koto totonoe shite tamai, Itemo Tenchi no aida ni sumu ningen o Kami to shimoto, medei tsukushimi tamai te aru wa, Here at this purified site of the Kongko Church of Whittier-Hill, your beloved children have gathered and join in one heart to express our love, sincerity, and appreciation to you, the blessings, favors, protections, and interventions we receive daily. Thank you very much for sending Ikigami Konko Daijin. It is because of Konko Daijin's sincere and pure heart he was allowed to encounter a once fearful deity that turned out to be a kami of love and benevolence. It is through this benevolence that we find answers, solace, and love. Your desire for sending Ikigami Konko Daijin was clearly stated in the revelation received on October 10, 1870. Tenchi Kane no Kami has sent Ikigami Konko Daijin to the people to bestow divine favors, interventions, and things, as well as to have them prosper from generation to generation. Kami is because of humanity, humanity is because of Kami. Both continue to uphold each other. We offer our hearts of appreciation for the daily goyo of our spiritual patriarch, Kyo Shukonko-sama. We pray will keep him and his wife Noko-sensei healthy in order for them to continue with their goyo. We also offer prayers of appreciation for the third Konko-sama, Setsutane Konko, the late Reverend Hiromi Ushio, Koharu Ushio, Hironao Ushio, Isao Goto, Tomoyo Goto, and as well as Reverend Hironori Ushio, Tokuko Ushio, Nobuharu Uzunoe, Kyoji Kongo, and Watko Igawa, for whom without this very church, this very place of worship would not be. Each of these ministers played a key role in the establishment of the Kongo Church of Whittier-Hill. We offer prayers of apology for the seen and unseen, knowing and unknowing irreverences committed not just by us, the living, but also that of our ancestors. We know that our words and actions can cause pain and hurt, and irreverences accumulate. We apologize that the power and energy of the Whittier Church has dwindled. We've lost our way. However, it is our hope that we re-energize ourselves and our faiths to move forward. We pray that you take our hand and guide us back to the path of purity and humility that leads us to you. We pray that this church will rise like the phoenix to once again regain its former glory and be filled with the prayers and laughter of people from all over. We pray that soon a successor will come to assist Reverend Kyoshi and Watiko Higawa. Please allow us to understand the irreverences we have made in the past. We ask you to receive our apologies as we learn to reflect upon ourselves. Please help us to clear away the meguri through taking responsibility and practicing our individual faiths. Please allow us to utilize the lessons from our mistakes and provide us a strength to bettering ourselves and moving forward. Cleanse our bodies and minds through Toritsugi, where we can receive your words and talk to you for everything that concerns anger, pains, our hearts through the media. We offer hearts of thanksgiving as we move from the pandemic phase created by COVID-19 to the endemic phase. Although this pandemic has affected people's lives and livelihoods, we are grateful that the world is slowly recovering. It is our prayer that all of us look at this virus as a means of reflection upon our lives, faiths, hearts, and actions. As we continue to reflect and learn through these times, please help those who have become ill, those who lost their jobs, those who are unable to feed themselves or their own. We ask for your hand of intervention and begin the healing that's starting with our hearts. However, as Uchiko who have embraced your teachings, it is my prayer that we live in this world with courage. At present, we are in the midst of revolution, and I pray that each of us enter in what may seem like dark times with a lantern of hope to discover your heart again by refreshing, restarting our own relationships with you. Let us take a bold step in revolution that will make this world a better place for all. As we enter this darkness, as we enter this darkness as the light of hope, please help us to not only keep unconditional love and compassion for all of our hearts, but also to reflect it in our daily lives. As you witness daily scenes of police brutality based on race and anger, scenes of violence, it is without doubt that I know your heart beats. Let us, your light, be the force of peace and change the world needs. For it is you who taught us Tenchi no aida ni sumu ningen kami no kami no uchiko. Quote, humans living between heaven and earth are all the beloved children of Kami. End quote. We know this teaching of unconditionality is a teaching of love. We know that this teaching of unconditionality is not about acceptance, but instead it is about embracing all people as brothers and sisters. We know that this teaching of unconditionality transcends race, sexual orientation, size, color of one's skin or hair color, gender identity, age, occupation, social status, etc. We know that this teaching of unconditionality is about love. And we know that through this teaching of unconditionality, you are asking us not to be accepting, but to be embracing and loving, kind, and generous. I implore you to please use each of us to make an impact, big or small, on our communities, cities, counties, and countries. As we go through this darkness with you, let us be the light. Guide us in our hearts and our actions to be embracing and loving, kind, and generous. Through these trials, it is my fervent prayer that our relationship with you will grow stronger and closer. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. As you are well aware, there is a war going on in Europe between Russia and the Ukraine. Civilians and soldiers are being senselessly killed. As one ohana, it is our prayer that we pray for this fighting to end. We pray that both sides will respect each other's sovereignty. Where there is injury, let us offer forgiveness. Where there is discord, let us build peace. We pray for the victims of tragedies, natural and human-made disasters to recuperate materially, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Kami-sama, the Whittier-Hill Church has had many ups and downs. However, it has always accepted your precious Ujiko. This church and its Ujiko have been wonderful examples of your unconditional love. We ask that you continue to help this character to continue to shine through from here to eternity. Let this church continue to be filled with love and joy, heal hearts of those seeking to be saved. Fill this church, its ministers and Ujiko, with laughter and harmony to help increase the joy in the lives and souls of those who come into contact with the Whittier-Hill Church, its ministers, and please watch over the Reverends Kyoshi and Watakuigawa as they are presently safe in the home of their daughter, Kazuo. Please keep them safe, healthy, and happy. Allow them to continue to do their ministerial goyo from New Jersey. We pray that the neighborhood, city, and county that the church and the Ujiko live in prosper, flourish, and thrive. The people in Mitama to be saved, the Ujiko to be healthy, prosper, and live in abundance. Keep them safe and at peace, and allow your Gohide or glory to shine brightly, and people to encounter not just the church, but also the teachings of Kōkō Daiji. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you, Tenchi. The blessings, opportunities, favors, and interventions, love and compassion you shower upon all of us. We make a commitment to remember you in all aspects of our lives and turn our hearts to you and ask you for your continued assistance. Finally, we offer our hearts of love and appreciation to you. The progress that the Reverend Masako Sesarina Hikegawa has been making and the dynamic changes that have taken place in regards to her care. We are very grateful that she will leave Camellia Gardens by the end of May. Allow Masako to be the light, the phoenix that allows her family to allows her and her family to reawaken their souls to you, shed themselves of their grief, and renew their desire to do your will. Tenchi Kami no Kami, please accept the offerings placed before you as simple tokens of our appreciation, the blessings bestowed on us every single day. The grace that you wrap us in when we are sad, lonely, angry, or pray. The favors and interventions that you grant us in our time of needs and or selfishness. These offerings and the words thank you could never express or equal that which you have bestowed on each of us. さらには国の内とにありて、不老のなことに出会いし、すべての人々の上に安心立ち行きのみがげこむらしめたまい。連の Whittier-Hill 広がい、ニューヨーク、ニュージャージー州会をはる国に、大神祭りである人らが、今日の大神祭りの歓喜礼をあまぬこうに、各教会において使い祭る、天地金の神大祭を、同じ願いのままに、うらしく使え祭らしめたまえと申す。We pray that the blessings and favor of today's service is granted and received by all here today, those who could not be with us. May ke aloha pumetan. Mahalo anuie, our beloved Ikiami Kongkoraito, Tenchi. Now, please raise your heads. To those tomoni haire, four sincere claps along with the head officials. I'm going to ask Mr. James Ivey to please offer the tamakushi on behalf of Reverend Kyoshi and Wakiko Igawa. Please open your prayer books to page 7 for the Adoration Prayer. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We bow our heads in prayer toward earth, rich and deep. Living amidst such gifts of Kami's great giving, how happy and grateful we are. The mediation of Ikigami Kongo Daiji does not stop for a single day. The protection of the divine parent embraces all far and wide. The blessings of Kami flow without limit through all generations. The ways of Kami are mysterious and wondrous beyond our understanding. Day by day, every day, earnestly and reverently, we praise the virtues of Kami. We honor the power of Kami. Jido Haide for sincere claps. Jido Haide for sincere claps. Please open your prayer books to page 11. Prayer to the departed souls. Spirits of those who have gone before us, you were given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge your duties faithfully, each according to your span of years. You will be remembered eternally, your lives be told from generation to generation, honored as the foundation of our society, the root of our families. We revere you as the ancestral spirits of our homes, our own divine spirits. We beseech you, stand by us each and every one. Receive the favor of Kami, and help us to fulfill our tasks as people without failing. Protect us, guide us, that we may never lose the way of faith, that we hand it down to all generations, that we may live in peace and prosperity in our homes. Protect us, guide us, enrich us. Chido Keide, please bow your heads in prayer. Amakuno Kashikoki, Renno Whittier-Hill Kyokai no Goreiden ni Itsuki Matsuru Goreijin Samani. Starting with the Kandori family, Honko family, the Shio family, and the Nakabashi family, including the late Reverend Nobu Honko, I respectfully call upon the following families to join us today. Honko Daijin Sama no Goryoshin, birth parents of Honko Daijin, Osonpu Sama, father Juhei Kandori, Obodo Sama, mother Shimo Kandori. Adoptive parents of Honko Daijin, Meiji Kawate, Iwa Kawate. Kandori family, Kawate family, Nishimoto family, Kazawa family. Kawakami family, Hideshima family, Otsubo family, Miyama family, Oto family, Takeda family, Tsuki family, Uzunoe family, Yukawa family. Igawa family, Hikekawa family, Saiki family, Matsumoto family, Tanaka family. O'Farrell family, Ivy family, Sanchez family, Landeros family, Whaley family, Huang family, Kane family, Ota family, Lin family, Ayabe family, Brown family, Klaus family, Moto family, Furuya family, Matsui family, Miyagawa family, Moriwaki family, Karakawa family, Kitaka family, Nakayama family, Nishi family, Omura family, Tagami family, Taniguchi family, Tepnappa family, Umemoto family, Urata family, Yamamoto family, Kochi family, Yasutake family. Thank you all for watching, guiding, and protecting us in our daily lives. We also honor those who passed in the month of May. Kura Fujii, Reverend Narimitsu Matsuyama, Reverend Koharu Ushio, Reverend Shiro Keda, Reverend Hiko Sato, Reverend Hironao Ushio, Hanezo Niiyama, Mei Niiyama, O Taro Nishi, Mineko Shinjo, Jo Iwamasa, Hirokazu Yamamori, Kei Yoshiko Kawata, Junko Akutagawa. Please receive the offerings placed before you as simple tokens of our appreciation, as well as our hearts and prayers of love, appreciation, and sincerity. At this time, we also remember and appreciate and offer our prayers of appreciation to Ushio Koharu Terutama Michimori no Mitama no Kami on her 55th year memorial. Koharu Sensei, it was you who helped Wakiko Sensei understand the importance of Toritsugi and what it means to constantly be communicating with Kami-sama. We thank you for helping to lay the foundation of Wakiko Sensei's faith. However, we must also acknowledge Ushio Hironao Itsu no Michioki Hironori Ushi no Mitama no Kami. You guided not just the Igawa family, but also the Kikikawa and Ota families. You helped to nurture them and allow them to become ministers. You trained with Wakiko Sensei while the founding minister of the Fukuzaki Church was alive. We are very grateful for your compassion, prayers, love, and toritsugi. To all the Mitama called forth today, please continue to watch over, guide, and protect all of us. Tamada suki kakete inorana yo yonoya, oya no miyoya no kami no tariu. Tamasuki kakete inorana yo yonoya, oya no miyoya no kami no chihai yo. Now, please raise your heads. Chido Tomoni Haire, 4 sincere claps along with the head officiant. Please open your prayer books to page 14, the ancestral prayer. Dear Mikama spirits, everlasting and integral part of the divine parent of the universe, we pray that the Mikama of our ancestors and families, as well as the Mikama of all people, grant eternal peace and happiness. To you who have gone before us, we give thanks wholeheartedly for paving the way through hardships and self-sacrifice, in order that we, who are here today, can receive all the benefits of your endeavors. to you, our ancestral spirits. We gratefully acknowledge the protection and guidance which you have bestowed upon us. We pray that you continue to protect and guide us throughout our daily lives. We pray that we realize and develop your divine virtue this and every day. Chigo Haide for sincere class. Hi, whoever's watching. Thank you very much for joining us for today's service, Tenchi Kano Kami Grand Ceremony. One of the revelations that I read in the Nogito, or the service prayer today, I think there's a huge meaning behind this and this particular service. And the reason why, and I was listening to this minister from, even though my last name is Takahashi, there is a place in Japan called Takahashi too. So it's not about me, I promise. And I don't know what this minister's last name is, so I apologize ahead of time. But I was listening to the head minister of the Kongo Church of Takahashi, and it just happened to be his Tenchi Kano Kami Grand Ceremony. And his focus really was why we have this service and how and why is it important for us to connect with Kami-sama. And he goes back to the revelation received on October 10th, 1873. And he goes to the very first part of this revelation. Now, I read you the bottom half. I didn't read you the top half. So let me read you the top half. Though they live between heaven and earth, people are unaware of Kami's blessings. Shrines, temples, and homes stand on Kami's land. Unaware of this, people only examine the deeds and directions and commit irreverences to Kami and encounter hardships due to their accumulated offenses. And so this minister, the head minister of the Kongo Church of Takahashi, spoke about this. And it's very interesting because although we're not as we have superstitions here. I think any country has their own superstitions. But here, in Japan during this time period, there was a superstition about Honjin-sama. Honjin-sama was a deity from China that was brought over. When it was brought over, please don't ask me because I don't know. But it was brought over and was feared that if you went into the wrong direction, in the direction, or you built in the direction where Honjin-sama existed, you would have the wrath of Honjin-sama. Interestingly, Kyoso-sama, or the founder, followed that pathway only to find what he was doing was an irreverence. All Kami-sama was asking was, just tell me, just ask me. I'm your parent. Let me do what a parent does to help you. As long as you ask, why do you have to sneak around? And I thought this was really something that was very powerful that he kept bringing up. And this actually was a part of the study group that we have, sponsored by the Hawaii Diocese, or the study group that we had. We were talking about this and how often we take Kami-sama out of the equation of our lives. For example, Reverend Edna Matsuoka, she is a nurse, and she comes from a very unique family because she grew up in extreme poverty. Her family couldn't even afford insurance, health insurance. So every time they had to go on a field trip, and this is not even a joke, it's not even a lie, it's the actual truth. They had to write the health insurance down. So their mom would write down, Ikigami Konko Daiji Tenchi Kano Kami. Literally. And the school thought, oh, this is probably some life insurance or health insurance from Japan, and they just took it. All this time, and they never had to insurance or have never had to have health insurance. Their whole lives were dependent on kami-sama. So Edna Sensei's mindset is very, very different from my mindset, from the mindset of a normal member. As this is something that's all she knows. And she shared that we have a tendency to take kami-sama out of the equations of our life. What does that mean? Well, how many of us ask kami-sama daily? Today I go to work. Please let me have a good day at work. I just came back from work. Thank you for allowing work to be done. When we go to the doctor, before we're going to the doctor, I have a doctor's appointment today. Please allow this appointment to be fruitful and helpful. May I make the best decisions in regards to my health? How many of us put kami-sama factor into our daily lives? And this particular teaching reminds us that we are so unaware of how often kami-sama blesses us. Just constantly blesses us, especially with life, in what we've been given in our everyday lives, our health. I saw this amazing TikTok. Yeah, I watched TikTok. It's very, if you're watching this, please don't go start on TikTok. I've spent an hour and a half just watching TikToks before. It's not very healthy. But I saw this amazing TikTok, and it made me think. I don't know about all of you, but how many of you, raise your hand, you look at the gas recently, and you're like, oh my God, raise your hand. How many of you ever taken a picture of the price of gasoline and posted on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok? I'm sure James is not raising his hand because he doesn't have TikTok or Instagram. He has Facebook, but I don't know if he does with it. But I've done it before, but the price of gasoline was really, really, really cheap. But this man said something very powerful, and it really affected me only because I lost my position last year. I lost 20%. My pay scale had gone down by 20%. My salary went down by 20%. I literally had no clue how I was going to survive month to month to month. And yet I was allowed to come up here once a month to do services. I was allowed to continue to get the offerings for this kami-sama and the altar here and the altar in San Diego. And this man said, he gone to the gas station. He had seen that he had put over $100 worth of gas into his truck, and he took the picture and was about to post it when he realized, what am I doing? What am I doing? I am able to afford this. I have been blessed enough for this. And granted, it's ridiculously expensive, but I have been blessed to be able to afford this. So why shouldn't I give thanks for this? And it made me reflect on the pandemic. Here at the Whittier Church, at the San Diego Church, we have to depend on the diocese for anything. We didn't have to depend on other people for anything. And I'm so grateful. I truly am grateful. I have no clue. This truly through the grace of kami-sama. I was able to survive a pandemic with my salary, because I'm a teacher, by the way, with my salary cut by 20%. And that's a huge cut. It's a huge cut. And now that I'm working full time, I have my salary has gone up 40%. To look at those prices. In fact, just before coming up here, I did love money, and I was like, oh my God, it's just $87 and something. I've never put $87 worth of gas in the car before, and I thought to myself, first thing I thought was, my God, that's $87, and then I realized that I'm allowed to pay. I'm able to pay. I have the funds to pay for this. I'm blessed enough to pay for this. In the main service prayer, it says that we tend to forget this, and we need to renew our faith, to realize the blessings within our lives. And granted, gas is a blessing because it comes from the earth. It's something natural. It's something we need to use. Paying for it is another thing. And yet, many of us are allowed to pay for it. Kyoso-sama, the founder, taught us, many people search for the root of illness. We always search for the root of illness, but what we don't do is search for the root of blessings. We don't search for the root of blessings. And where does that start? It took a TikTok video to make me realize, wow, I am blessed. I truly am blessed. I did my taxes this year, and I was writing down how much I spent on offerings for both churches, and I freaked myself out. I'm like, oh my God, holy smokes. And then I realized, but wait, I'm allowed to do this. I have been blessed to do this. Even when during the pandemic, when my salary was down 20%, I was still blessed to do this. And so today, during this Tenchi Kando Kami Grand Ceremony, I think I ask all of you to stop counting blessings, because I hate that phrase. Reflect on your blessings. Don't count them, because I hate that phrase. But to reflect on them. So the next time you go to that gas station, I know, you poor thing. I'm just looking at James and I'm like, oh, poor thing, his gas bill. I know gas bill like that. To remind yourself, you have been blessed to be able to do this. We have been blessed to be able to do this. We have been blessed not to suffer. We have been blessed to have a home. I have been blessed to move into an apartment where, I'll be honest, I only pay $14 for one bedroom. And now a one bedroom in San Diego is $2,200. I have been blessed to be able to pay for it. I have been blessed to be able to work full time. I have been blessed to have these blessings. And I am still selfish, as we all are, asking Kami-sama, can we still have this? Can we still have that? And Kami-sama provides to all of us. So please, on this day, I ask you to reflect on the blessings in your lives. Write them down. Show appreciation for them. And I thank James. James volunteered to help with the Kansen, to do Goyo for the Kansen today. And I'm so grateful, because can you imagine just one person having to do this? I'm going to be honest, he was shaking. You were shaking, weren't you? On like 3 of these offerings, he was shaking. I'm like, oh, I better hurry up and help him. Because they're pretty heavy. But I'm so grateful that he volunteered and his willingness. And that opportunity, those opportunities to Goyo, that's a blessing. So please, on this day, I ask all of you to please reflect on those blessings. Take the time to give appreciation for those blessings. Even in the midst of darkness, even in the midst of hardship, let us be the light. Let us be the light of Kami-sama's love, and allow other people to see this light, to show them how blessed we are, and to share those blessings with them. Thank you again for attending today's ceremony. Next month's ceremony, I have to look at the calendar again, because I think I mixed up the 2 dates between our service, which are in San Diego, and Whittier. So I will make sure to send out an email when the Whittier service is and when our service is, because San Diego will only have one service next month, and Whittier is, I think, for us again the second weekend. I will make sure to email all of you, but please join us again, and hopefully we'll be able to slowly open up our church. I think we're slowly beginning that process, and we hope that you'll be able to attend. Thank you very much. Take care. Ahui ho, maalama pono. Bye-bye. Hi, whoever was there.